Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to go to athlete test history. So we're gonna go to athlete test history, and we're gonna go down. Now they pretty much what this says is what they test for. So they test for blood, urine. They test, they do dried blood spot samples, serum blood samples, whole blood samples, urine samples, in and out of competition samples. Um, so they pretty much test for everything. Now, what you want to do is scroll down, go to basketball. You can look at the testing for any year. I think maybe 2013 is the cutoff, but anyways, you just go to this year, 2024, or you could just type in LeBron James's name. Doesn't really matter which one you do, but I just want to go to basketball in general, the year 2024. Type in, you click on search. Now, what you're gonna see, sample count, athlete name is right here. Sample count is on the other side. 66 athletes selected, 72 total samples. So you see Anthony Davis got tested once. You see Anthony Edwards got tested once. You see Bam Adebayo got tested once. You see Derek White one time, Devin Booker one time, Joel Embiid twice, Drew Holiday twice, Kawhi Leonard once, Kevin Durant twice, and the guy that they say was not tested, LeBron James, one time. Um, you got Steph Curry on there once. You got Therese Halliburton on there twice. But the point is, every Olympic athlete has to be tested to be, to qualify for the Olympics, to be in the Olympics. Everyone has to get tested. That's not even a debatable thing. So this idea that LeBron James wasn't tested, he avoided testing, you know, whatever narrative that these haters are making up, he was tested just like everybody else. Now, whether people want to say, oh, he's taking something to pass the test, I don't know whether that's true, false. I wasn't there. I can't say that he is or isn't, but I know that he was tested and he passed the test according to what he needs, according to what they needed to pass him. So he was blood tested. They tested his urine as well. So you can't sit here and make up lies just because you want to disqualify LeBron from, apparently being the GOAT. But it's, the comments Anthony Edwards made, this is what they're talking about. He didn't say LeBron James was tested after the Olympics because, he says him, Curry, and Durant was tested after the Olympics. But Curry was only tested one time, which means they didn't even test Curry until after the Olympics were already over. They tested LeBron before the Olympics probably even began, but he was tested one time, just like Curry was, just like Kawhi Leonard was, just like Anthony Edwards was tested one time, and that was after the Olympics was over. So the point is, that's a false narrative. LeBron was clearly tested. You can see his name on this list. He was tested one time. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, on to the real issue. Um, we can look at how LeBron was the Olympic MVP. So give me like a few seconds, and we're gonna get right to it. Yeah. All right. So this is how he was the Olympic MVP. So obviously, you see the screen, you see what's on the screen. That's just a thumbnail of him being the Olympic MVP. Now, if you look at everyone's stats, hold on, I need to get some water real quick. If you look at everybody's stats on the screen, I'm only going to read off the top three because these are I've heard people say Kevin Durant was robbed. I've heard people say Stephen Curry was robbed. Now these are the stats for everybody on the team. So let me just read it off. Steph Curry, 89 points, 19 rebounds, 15 assists. LeBron James, 85 points, 41 rebounds, 51 assists. Kevin Durant, 83 points, 19 rebounds, 14 assists. LeBron only had 4 less points than Steph Curry, right? He had 4 less points, but he had 22 more rebounds and 36 more assists than Curry. In fact, the closest guy to him in assists is Devin Booker, and Devin Booker only had 20 assists. So LeBron had 31 more assists than the second best guy. He had 1 more rebound than the second best guy in rebounds, and he only scored 4 less points than Curry. But the point is, 89, 19, and 15 is not better than 85, 41, and 51. 83, 19, and 14 is not better than 85, 41, and 51. So let's take it a step further. Curry scored 89 points. 36 of his points came off of LeBron's assists. Now, for anybody that doesn't know math, that's 41% of his points. 41% of his points. So damn near half of Curry's points came off of LeBron's assists. And 9 of 22 of Curry's three-pointers came from LeBron's assists. Right? He assisted on 9 of 22 Curry's three-pointers. Let's take it a step further. LeBron is first in efficiency per game, first in rebounds per game, first in assists per game. Curry was first in points per game. LeBron was second in points per game, right? He was first in rebounds per game, like I said, first in assists per game, first in steals per game, first in field goal percentage, first in minutes per game, first in PER, second in points per game, sixth in blocks per game. The clear-cut MVP. I mean, if you really just look at it, this is just showing his ranking again. First in minutes per game, second in points per game, first in rebounds per game, first in assists per game, first in field goal percentage, and only Curry had averaged more points per game. First in points, rebounds, defensive rebounds, assists, field goals made, field goal percentage, 2-pointers, 2-point percentage, and first in efficiency, right? Now, I just named off his stats. He was first in damn near everything. First or second, and he was sixth in blocks, but he was damn near first in everything. I don't know how anyone is saying Curry was the MVP over LeBron, or Curry was robbed. Now, if the MVP was for the last 2 games, I'll give that to you. Curry was the best for the last 2 games, but LeBron was the most consistent through the whole tournament, and even in the Serbia game, LeBron tied that game. LeBron put the assisted on Curry's 3-pointer to put them up, and he was the one that took the chance of guarding Jokic, who was the best player on the opposing team. He was the one. He was the one that was denying Jokic that ball. So at the end of the day, they say, oh, he was MVP because of what he did the last 2 games, but I'm just like, the MVP is not for 2 games. The MVP is for the entire tournament. And before those last 2 games, Curry averaged, if I'm not mistaken, hold on, I have it right here. The first 4 games, which is over half of the tournament, the Olympic tournament, the first 4 games, Curry averaged 7 points per game on 41% shooting and 19% from 3. So that's over half the tournament. So he clearly didn't deserve the MVP because the MVP is for 6 games. And if Curry played bad for over half of them, then he wasn't the MVP. And like I said, we just look at the stats. And I'm gonna go over it again. LeBron was first. Hold on, let me go to that. He was first in rebounds per game, assists per game, steals per game, field goal percentage, minutes per game. First in PER, efficiency. He's second in points per game and 6th in blocks per game, right? Okay. These things say the same thing pretty much. First in points, rebounds, defensive rebounds, assists, field goals made, field goal percentage, 2-pointers, 2-point percentage, first in efficiency. Same thing. He first in all this stuff. He assisted on 41% of Curry's points, 9 of Curry's 22 3-pointers, and 36 points that Curry scored. 36 of his 89 was from LeBron James assists. So that's 41%. So, like I said, nearly half of that. And then, like I said, you look at the first 4 games. Curry averaged 7 points per game on 41% shooting and 19% from 3. So it's just a false myth that people are pushing that Curry deserved the Olympic MVP over LeBron James. And then LeBron also shot 90% at the rim. So it's clear who the best player was. It's clear who deserved the MVP. And you can, I mean, these are all stats you can look up. LeBron was first in all this stuff, man. He was first in all of it. So I don't see how anyone is saying. And like I said, you could even look at just the numbers, right? 85, 41, and 51 compared to what? 89, 19, and 15? 83, 19, and 14. You tell me how 85, 41, and 51 isn't better than both of those. 41 rebounds is better than 19 rebounds. 51 assists is better than 15 rebounds. 51 assists is better than 14 assists. Now, 4 more points might look better, but we're talking about the duration of a tournament. LeBron was clearly the better defender than Curry by far. He was clearly the better rebounder and passer, and he was clearly better as a scorer and more consistent as a scorer. He only scored 4 less points. Curry exploded those last 2 games, and yeah, you could say they don't win without him, but again, the tournament, the MVP is for the entire Olympic tournament, not for 2 games. If it was for 2 games, you have to give it to Curry, but we're talking about the entire tournament. And for the whole tournament, LeBron James was the MVP, and that's, it's clear as day. And anyone saying anything otherwise is just a hater. And I'm just tired of looking at the narratives and all the different things. LeBron James is clearly the MVP. And again, I just broke down all the stats. We can look at the fact that he was tested once again. I'm going to show that again, just for anyone saying anything otherwise. Because I just saw a video yesterday that was, pretty much implying that he avoided testing. All you had to do was look. Here, I'm gonna type it in. USADA. USADA. That's all you have to do is type that in. USADA, right? Go to athlete test history. You're going to see the home. You're going to see athlete test history right under the home. It's the second result. Click on athlete test history. And you, like I said, you go down. Now, this is on Firefox, Google, whatever internet provider you got, whatever. They pretty much run down. We do urine samples, whole blood samples, dry blood spots, serum blood samples, in and out of competition samples. So they get your DNA, all that, they test it, right? Now, what you want to do is go to the year, 2024. You go to the sport, basketball. Or you could just type in LeBron James' name in and see if it comes up. But we just going to go basketball this year, he was tested or not. Search. 66 athletes selected, 72 total samples. Like I said, you see Anthony Davis, you see Anthony Edwards. And people are harping on the fact that Anthony Edwards said he was tested after the tournament, right? He wasn't even tested. And this is how they do athletes anyway. They're not going to tell you when they're going to test you. You just randomly get tested. But everyone knows you're in the Olympics, you're going to get tested. You have to get tested to compete. And if you fail, you can't compete. And I don't know where this idea is coming from that LeBron somehow is dodging Olympic tests and still allowed to compete. And like I said, they probably taking his comments out of context. Anyways, Anthony Edwards said, they were Curry, Durant, and himself were tested after the Olympics ended. And then they're taking that to say, oh, LeBron James wasn't tested at all. He was never tested. Okay, well, based on Anthony Edwards' comments, Anthony Edwards was tested after the Olympics one time. He wasn't tested before. Anthony Davis one time. But when you go down, you see LeBron James one time. Right? You see Steph Curry one time. Curry, LeBron, Anthony Edwards all tested one time. LeBron wasn't tested after the Olympics. He was either tested, he had to be tested before, because you can't test during the Olympics because, you have to test negative to even compete. So he was tested before at the end of the day, and he passed his test. And he was tested, and that means Anthony Edwards wasn't even tested before that. That means he was tested before. That means he was only tested one time, and it was tested after the Olympics ended, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe you don't have to. I don't know. But I know you got to get tested. At the end of the day, he was tested after. LeBron was tested before, during, I don't know when, whenever. But it's a false narrative to say he wasn't tested, and I just showed that. So all you got to do, like I said, USADA, type it in Google, Firefox, whatever you got. Click on it. Click on test history. You should see it. And I'm seeing channels talking about he wasn't tested and he won the MVP. All this nonsense. And I'm just dispelling the myths. I'm gonna make a video here shortly after. So just give me a moment. I'm gonna make another video and I'll upload that later. So just give me a minute.